So I'm going to show you how you can take a Google form to document conversations that students are having in your class and record the information at the same time. So what you first have to do is you have to make a Google Drive folder with the names of your students on a separate Google Doc and put them all in the same folder. Then when you're making your Google form, you need to make sure that the very first question of your Google form is the student's name, and I'll show you why that's important in a minute. And then I just made this really quick documenting conversations demonstration. I have, did the student demonstrate any conversation skills on a scale of 1 to 10, how deep did the conversation go? And then I have examples of how they participated in the conversation, for example, by giving examples from the text, relating the text to another text, negotiating with other students, asking questions to challenge another person's opinion, and obviously you can modify this to suit your own needs in the classroom. After you're done making the Google form, you're going to then link the Google form back to the drive that you created, the drive folder that you created, which consisted of all of the students' names on an individual doc. To do that, you need to click on the little puzzle in the top right corner, Doc Appender, open the sidebar, and then what you're going to do is you're going to be able to choose the Google Drive that you made earlier. I've already done that here. And when I click on it, I can show you that it links back to the Google Drive I made earlier with all the students' names on the individual docs. And how I did that was I just simply pressed choose a different folder, and it's going to bring up all of the Google folders that you have in your drive. If you have Google Classroom, it'll also show you the folders in Google Classroom, which can be really handy because then you can link this back even to Google Classroom. So you choose the folder, you press next, and then it's going to ask you to choose the question which is going to identify which folder to put all of the information in. So I'm going to choose student's name. I'm going to press refresh list, and then I'm going to save it. And as you're going to see here, it populated all of the names of the Google Docs, student 1, student 2, and student 3. Then you're going to choose the form values that are going to be added to the docs when you submit the form. So I want a timestamp so I can keep track of the date. And I'm just going to choose all of the questions that I've made in my Google form. Then I'm going to press format for append response. You can choose to do it sideways or horizontal or vertical. I'm just going to choose bullet points. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how I would actually use this Google form in my class, and I think it'll make a lot more sense of how you can use this form in your class once I show you. So I'm going to share this link with myself. And now I'm going to complete this Google form as if I'm wandering the class and listening in on the conversation. So maybe student 1 did participate in the conversation. I'm going to give them an 8. I'm going to check off the examples in which they participated. And then I'm going to make a little comment. Maybe I'm going to tell this person that the next time they're having a discussion with their peers, to try to put themselves in another person's shoes to see a different perspective. Perhaps this student is specifically struggling to be critical about a text, and maybe I'm encouraging them to dig a little bit deeper. And then that way when I submit it, you're going to see how all of this comes together. I can submit another response if I want, but just for simplicity, I'm just going to show you. If I go back to the Google Drive and I click on student 1, there's my timestamp. That is the Google form that I just completed, and it's all there for me. What I love about this is that it makes taking anecdotal notes a lot easier, and I have a timestamp of all of the different conversations I've heard the students have, not just with me, but with other students as well, and it's going to come in very handy when reports come up.